we did a maze, and we did a GCF worksheet. What's weird next to the GCF worksheet on the list?
Monday?
Yeah,
There's a little star by it.
There's a little star by it. What else has a little star by it? Factor of possible worksheet. So let me back up and explain that. 2 weeks ago, when you were working on your wanted posters, I wanted you to spend more time on those. So I didn't give you an extra packet that Ms. Asbury gave her students. I told myself I didn't want your before spring break brain to work on this packet. I would wait for your after spring break brain, because we all know how the last packet went for some of us. Many of us did a great job, but a lot of us didn't do multiple pages, or we missed multiple problems, and we got a bad grade on a packet that was supposed to be super easy. So instead, yes you did. So instead, what we're going to do this time for the packet is just random piece of paper. If you want to stay them all together at the end, you can. I'm just keeping up with it. I have a little tally. So if Erin turns in her GCF worksheet, I'll grade it. Let's say Erin misses 5. I'll hand it back to her. She can fix it, turn it back in. She misses 2 more. She fixes it again. As long as she does all this before the due date, she can do that and get herself a perfect score, kind of like the last packet. I can pick on Erin. She's not going to do this. What we don't want Erin to do is Erin to not turn it in until the due date, and it stinks because she's messed up a lot, or it's blank because she didn't do it for some reason. No clue. So that's not going to be Erin. She's probably going to get the perfect score on the packet, as will most of you. That is our goal, is to get a good grade. I'm going to put the entire packet, like the last packet, in the 60% category. Eventually, of course, there will be a test on factoring. Whenever that said test will occur, I assume one day next week. Whenever that test occurs, I assume that's when the packet will be due. So if you want to go ahead and tell yourself, I like to give myself deadlines in my brain. I'm going to tell myself by next Tuesday, because I don't like Mondays, but next Tuesday I will have that packet done. Next Tuesday I will have every page handed to me done. But you get that list is going to continue. So does Zach have to have, for instance, when he leaves today, does he have to have all those 4 things in? Not necessarily, but he understands I'm going to add more to the list tomorrow. So the sooner he gets those done, the less terrifying the list looks. Are there any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if Zach for some reason is having a blood day and can only handle one math thing, should he pick the thing with an asterisk by it or the thing with no asterisk by it? Asterisk. The asterisk is the grade that's going in the 60%. So if he's debating, he should go with the asterisk. Okay, let's go over the volume because, again, I forgot last period. Don't know why. I heard some really good debates about this. I'm really impressed with that. Does anyone have an expression they would like to share?
It's gonna be wrong.
What did you do? Can you help me? I did M for money. But I mean, yours could be B for Bill.
I put 30x.
30x?
Well, it is per night. Per month.
It is per month.
So P, I think.
Oh, I understand. 30 per month. And then what else?
Plus 0.50.
30p, you said, plus 0.50
P.
D?
He said P, but you can't use the
Yeah,
same
D,
variable.
just use D.
D? Okay, and then what else?
And plus 0.25. And
Okay, I am with you. The D is for what?
X.
What's the N for?
9.
Is that all?
Yes.
And weekends.
That's the night and the weekend, right? Okay, I want to slightly modify what he said. Does anyone have a suggestion? Are we figuring? He is right. What is the P for?
Per day. I mean per month. But you already have M per month.
Okay, but what month are we looking for?
March.
March. So do we need that P? No, we know it's just $30 because it's just that month. So if you want to scratch it out, you can. He's right. If we were trying to figure out how much to charge him a year or whatever, we would want to plug in at 12, half a year, plug in at 6. He's right in real life. But since we only want the month of March, I'm going to do 30 plus 0.50D plus 0.25N. And I'm pretty sure this front group had something similar to that. Okay, so everyone's good with A. Are there any questions about A? If I go crazy. Then let's go to B. we need to figure out an exact bill. We need to go up to Trent and say, Trent, you owe us this amount of money. So we've got to plug in numbers if we can. Can we plug in anything for the D or the N? Okay, which one? What is the N? 12. How did you figure out the N was 12? It does say it. It says 12 hours of night and weekends. Okay, but are we just going to guess how many hours he did in the day? That seems like a bad guess. It tells you how many total hours it has. Where does it tell you that?
Oh, just 47.
47. So he had 47 total. So what do I need to do with that information? Subtract the 9 hours. So 47 minus 12, and we would get what number? 35. Now, of course, you can go type this in on your calculator. There's no problem with that, but I like a little bit of math in my head sometimes. What's half of 35? You don't know half of 35 off the top of your head? Half of 34 is 17. So 17.5. Okay, and then 25 is really, 0.25 is really what fraction? 1/4. So what's 12 divided by 4? 3. So if I add those two together, I would have 47.5 plus 3. So it ends up being 50.5. Now I just did that for fun, just to show that we could add that quickly in our head. If you actually want to type that line into your calculator, you're still going to get 50.5. Okay, and I really shouldn't write 50.5, should I? I should write 50.50 because that's what we're going to tell him. You owe us $50.50. I have some questions, though, about, this is an actual old Aspire question. It's been modified, but somewhat. It has a typo. It should say charge, not charges. Charges. Okay, what do you think the deal is? Why is it costing more in the day than at night in this parking garage? Why would you use the parking garage more in the day? What are you doing? Work. He uses the parking garage for work. He's at work the most during the daytime hours. Is this realistic for us in Alabama?
No.
Do I park in a parking deck here?
No.
Are there any parking decks you park in? Where do you park in a parking deck? The mall. Do you pay for parking at the mall? No. Where else do you park in a parking deck? Airport, yes, they charge you per day. The dentist, you park at the parking deck? The hospital, you park at the parking deck, but on the way out, you got to pay that bill, or they don't open the little gate. So while this is a great real life problem, it's not one we actually face around here. What a bummer. I know, just brought it down. Okay, a little packet from yesterday. Are there any questions about GCF? You got confused on the maze, you got confused on your worksheet, there's a question about GCF.
No, ma'am.
Okay, there's a reason why it made the first flap of our little book, because it's the most important. No matter what I say from here on out, the first thing Maddie needs to ask herself, any problem she sees, is there a GCF? Is there a GCF? Since I'm not talking about GCF, am I necessarily going to pick problems with a GCF? Probably not. But the first thing Maddie needs to ask, is there a GCF? If so, pull it out first. Okay, what am I going to talk about today? What's the next flap down? Yeah. I'm going to put leading coefficient. And if you just want to put LC, that's fine. Leading coefficient of 1. Okay, we actually worked 2 problems with a leading coefficient of 1 yesterday in our bell ringers. If you look at 2A and B from yesterday, you already know how to do these problems. You're great at it when we do it all together. You're going to rock it on the 2 worksheets for today. You're going to have those done so quickly. You're great at it until they all start getting jumbled up. So that's what we're trying to prevent. Maybe if we practice it a ton, like piano, it'll like stay within you forever. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I've been wrong before. Okay, so we need to work some examples. I'm going to pick some, I'm going to say easy. I think they're all easy, but some not as easy. Okay, our first example, we'll keep it simple. It's x squared plus 11x plus 28. I need to know two things that add to 11 and multiply to 28. Does anyone know those factors off the top of their head? 7 and 4. Aaron is correct. 7 plus 4 is 11. 7 times 4 is 28. She is good to go. Now, if you are like Aaron and you can think of that in your head, you do not have to show me any work. However, on the test, sure would be nice to know that you did something. But if Hannah's not going to show me any work, how can Hannah check herself to still make sure she gets the 100? Foil it back out. When she foils it back out, x squared plus 4x plus 7x, that's 11, plus 28, hey, she ends up back at the original. So I know Will, he's not going to show me any work, but he's going to check it with FOIL probably in his head. He's going to check it with FOIL to make sure everything's good to go. Okay, what do we use, what have we been using when the leading coefficient is not a 1? We've been using our Ninja Star. I wanted to add that if you just stinking love the Ninja Star, you just love it, you can still use it when the leading coefficient is 1. The A's still go in the slots on the right. The B still goes below. You can still do A times C above, but 1 times 28 is just 28. But really, even if you fill in the star, you end up asking yourself the same questions I asked up here. What adds to 11? What multiplies to 28? It's still going to be 7 and 4. We would still get x plus 7 and x plus 4. I just wanted to show those who are dead set on the Ninja Star that it still works even if the leading coefficient is a 1. I just feel like it slows us down. I'm a fast person, but if you want to do it, go for it. Okay, let's work another example. X squared minus 30x plus 40. I need to know two things that add to give me a negative 30 and multiply to give me a positive 40. And if you want to make the star, you can. 1, 1, negative 30, 40. Does anyone know?
No.
Okay, what multiplies to give me 40? 1 and 40. 2 and 20. 4 and 10. 5 and 8. Okay, but my middle term is negative, so what does that tell us? Which one's negative, the big factor or the little factor? Which one is it? Okay, so the big factor is negative. So negative 40, I know you said it, but you said like little factor 2, and I just questioned. Oh, therefore it wins. Negative 40 plus 1 is negative 39. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. Negative 10 plus 4, that's negative 6. The last one's negative 3. None of those are negative 30. What does that mean?
Gotta keep going.
What else? What else multiplies to 40? Please tell me.
6 and
6 and 7 is 42.
No.
We already have 8. 8 and 5. Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. So, what are we going to do?
I don't know.
Substitute.
Okay, what does it say that second worksheet is today?
That's impossible.
Oh.
So what did we just learn?
It's not possible.
It's not possible. So you can either write not factorable, or if you just want to write not possible, either one is fine. The whole point is every single thing we come up with in life, every single math problem, even the math teacher makes, is not necessarily workable. We can't go any further on that one. So there is a possibility for very few, but there is a possibility for at least one or two answers on one of your worksheets today to be not possible. Okay, we're going to work two more. Number 3 is medium. A squared minus 15a plus 50. I need to know the factors.
Five times 10.
5
times 10.
Who's negative?
Oh, my lord. I forgot that was a 15. My bad.
I just need someone to tell me what the factors are.
5 and 10.
I agree with 5 and 10, but are any of them negative? And if so, who? Both are negative. Okay, so I need to write what? Thank you, Erin. Okay, if you need to think that through, like what adds to negative 15, what multiplies to give you 50, they're right. Negative 5, negative 10 meet these conditions. And again, if you're still dead set on the Ninja Star at all times, you're just Ninja Star crazy, you can still use it with a leading coefficient of 1. We end up asking ourselves the same questions. What multiplies to 50 adds to negative 15? We would still get the same answers. Okay, you did a pretty good job. If I recall, it was third period that had the issue. You did a pretty good job before spring break, but your brain's been on a break. I understand that. Since the problem is with A's, notice my factors are also with A's. Don't suddenly swap to X's. Whatever variable is given in the problem, roll with it. Okay, one more and then I swear you can go work on your mini worksheets. Number 4, let's make this one a truly medium one. Eight and 8 and 8. So how should I write my answer?
B plus 8 and B plus.
I don't want to do that. That's what I want to do. This is what originally him and Zach were getting to. Wouldn't it be nicer to just see this? But again, they said 8 plus 8 is 16. 8 times 8 is 64. And if you wanted to make your star with the 1, the 16, the 64, you still would end up getting 8s. 64. Okay, are there any questions about this? Okay, well then I swear you have tons of things to work on. If you turned in the worksheet from yesterday, either one, I'm going to grade it, hand it back to you, you can fix it. Same thing goes for today. If you'll turn it in, I'll grade it.